Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you've ever opened up an English grammar book, taken one look at that massive table of contents, and just felt this immediate wave of absolute overwhelm wash over you, well, trust me, you are not alone. English grammar has this nasty reputation for being complicated, super messy, and honestly, deeply frustrating for beginners. But what if I told you that you've kind of been sold a myth? Today, we're going to look at the 3-tense blueprint for conversational English. It's a system that completely strips away the noise and gives you exactly what you need to start speaking confidently, literally today.
12. Just think about that number for a second. This is the intimidating, frustrating fact that stops so many learners right in their tracks. English technically has 12 tenses. And when most people hear that, they falsely believe they need years and years of intense study before they can even attempt to have a real conversation, order food, or just tell a simple story to a friend. 12 sounds like this massive mountain you have to climb before you're even allowed to speak.
But here is the massive relief. 3. To survive, to tell stories, to describe your entire life, and actually have real, everyday conversations, you only need 3 core tenses. That's it. Not now, and honestly not for a very long time, do you actually need those other 9. These 3 cover your morning routine, your weekend, and your future plans. I know, it sounds almost too good to be true, right? But it's exactly what we're going to master right now.
So before we get into which 3 you need, we have to kind of change how we think about the word tense. Honestly, just forget the dry academic grammar definition. A tense is really just a timestamp or a time zone. Think of it like dropping a pin on a map, but for time. It simply marks when an action happens. Every single time you speak, you're just dropping a pin in one of 3 time zones: now, before, or later. That's the whole shebang. You are simply telling the listener when the event actually occurred.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap. First up, the everyday tense. Second, the yesterday tense. Third, the tomorrow tense. And finally, we'll wrap it up with a highly practical 3-tense exercise.
All right, starting with section 1. The everyday tense, also known as the simple present.
This is the tense for the now and the actual reality of your daily life. We call it the everyday tense because it handles the stuff that happens every day, every week, or every morning. It's for your habits, your routines, and those universal facts. Now, here is an absolutely crucial point. When someone asks you, "What do you do?" they aren't actually asking what you're doing right this exact second. They want your routine. They want the everyday tense. I work in an office. I teach English. I study. It's literally the ultimate tool for describing your overall lifestyle.
And the absolute beauty of this tense is its simplicity. For I, you, we, and they, the verb stays completely simple. I eat. You eat. The verb doesn't change at all. The only rule you have to remember is what I like to call the rule of S. When you are talking about he, she, or it, you just tack an S onto the end of the verb. He eats. She works. It rains. That little S is the only rule you need to build simple, totally effective sentences about anyone's morning routine.
Oh, and this simple tense is also exactly how we state universal facts. Take this one. Cats sleep a lot, right? It's true today, it was true yesterday, and it's definitely going to be true tomorrow. It's just a universal fact. The everyday tense effortlessly establishes these truths, like water boils at 100 degrees, or the sun rises in the east. You already use this concept all the time in your native language. Now you just have a solid framework for it in English.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, the yesterday tense, or simple past.
The primary function here is finished actions. This right here is your essential storytelling tense. If an action is done, over, and completely finished, whether that was yesterday, last summer, or literally 2 minutes ago, you use this tense. I went to Paris. She called me yesterday. If you want to share a memory or recount a fun experience, this is the pillar you absolutely rely on.
Now, you might be wondering, how do we actually build it? Well, for most verbs, it's incredibly straightforward. You just add ed to the end. Walk becomes walked, cook becomes cooked. These are what we call regular verbs. But we also have irregular verbs which change in their own special way. Now, please don't let this panic you. It is a very short, highly manageable list of important ones that you'll use constantly. Go becomes went. Eat becomes ate. Have becomes had. See goes to saw, come to came, and make to made. Memorize this tiny little handful and you instantly unlock the ability to tell almost any daily story.
And here is a fantastic, absolute game changer of a shortcut for asking questions or making negative statements. It's called the did trick. Let's compare did you go versus did you went. The correct version is did you go? But why? Well, because the word did is already in the past tense. It steps in and basically does all the heavy lifting for the past tense job, which means your main verb, in this case, go, can just sit back, relax, and stay in its simple original form. You don't need to say did you went, because did already told us loud and clear that we're in the yesterday time zone. It is a total lifesaver for your fluency.
Moving right along to section 3, the tomorrow tense, or simple future.
This is such an incredibly empowering tense. Its primary functions are your plans, your dreams, and your predictions. Whether it's mapping out your schedule for tomorrow, deciding what you're doing next weekend, or dreaming about an amazing vacation someday in the future, the tomorrow tense allows you to project your life forward.
So how do we actually use it? There are two main ways, and both are perfectly acceptable for beginners. The first is using will. I will eat. Or the shorter, more conversational version, I'll eat. What is so fantastic about will is that it requires absolutely zero verb changes. No S's, no eeds, nothing. Just will plus the verb. It works for everyone across the board. I will, she will, they will. The second way is using going to, like I am going to travel. Often, going to is used for plans you've already officially decided on, while will can be for quick decisions. But honestly, don't stress about the difference right now. Seriously. People will understand you perfectly whichever one you use.
Okay, here's where it all comes together. Section 4, the 3 tense exercise. One topic, 3 time zones.
So we've covered the everyday, the yesterday, and the tomorrow tenses. Now let's combine all 3 to prove to you that basic conversational fluency is entirely achievable today. Let's consider a very, very important topic, coffee. We start in the past. Yesterday, I went to a new cafe. Bam, that's your simple past, a finished story. Then we move to the present routine. Every morning, I drink coffee. That's your simple present, a daily habit. Finally, we look to the future. Tomorrow, I will go back. Simple future, a plan. 3 tenses, 3 time zones mapped perfectly onto a single thread of a person's life.
Let's try it one more time, this time with pizza. Last Friday, I ate a big pizza. That's the yesterday tense. Every Friday, I eat pizza, the everyday tense. Next Friday, I will try a new place, the tomorrow tense. And this brilliantly illustrates the whole concept. With just 3 basic sentences, you have communicated a complete, rich picture of your habits, your past experiences, and your future plans. You've literally covered your whole life.
Before we finish up, I really want this next concept to sink in. Messy English is better than no English. You absolutely do not need 12 tenses to be understood. You do not need to be perfect. Using these 3 foundational tenses means you will inevitably make some mistakes. And you know what? That is fantastic. Making mistakes is quite literally the only way you get better. Just start speaking. Be a little messy. It is so much better than staying silent just because you're worried about mispronouncing an irregular verb. So here is my final challenge to you. I want you to immediately apply this 3 tense framework to your own life right now. Pick a topic, your job, your family, your favorite food. What did you do yesterday? What do you do today or every day? And what will you do tomorrow? Try building those 3 simple sentences in your head right now. You've got the blueprint. Now, what story are you going to tell?